What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you week 2 of Fella here on the channel. This week we are taking on Tom and the Dutch Harbor Walreins. He's got a really decent team, really decent team. Kind of really excited to face him. He's got a good team. I had a really interesting strategy going into this one, and I'll explain why it was a bad one. I wanted to hazard stack. As you can see here, I brought Leavanny for the main purpose of sticky webs. I brought Drapion for the single purpose of getting up toxic spikes. You know, it was a good idea at first. You know, I brought Golurk with Stealth Rocks. Good idea at first, you know. If I had actually done my research, I would have realized this was a terrible idea. But, you know, we'll get to that when we get there. But we brought Leavanny with sticky webs in order to get those up. Mainly, I'm pretty sure we had Leaf Blade and X Scissor as well, and just as coverage moves. We have Drapion. Pretty sure it was a specially defensive Drapion set. Physically defensive Golurk with Stealth Rocks, Iron Fist boosted stuff as well. We have Volcanion, who is a modest Assault Vest user. We have also an Assault Vested Terrakion, who's Adamant. Or no, Jolly. No, he ran Jolly with just enough speed to outspeed everything on his team, barring the Torn T. And then we had a Life Orb Jolteon. So, without further ado, let's get into this matchup. You can see right here that he has brought the Magnezone, Scrafty, Garchomp, Reuniclus, Drifblim, and Tornado Steve. The mons that he did not bring are Azumarill, Floette Eternal, Rapidash, Bronzong, and Meowstic. Also Mega Glalie. Mega Glalie just doesn't... I can understand his decisions on that side. Meowstic screens aren't really necessary against my team. You can handle it with other things. Mega Glalie wouldn't stand up well against Mega Scizor or Terrakion or Volcanion for that matter. Bronzong wouldn't really do well against Volcanion. Rapidash doesn't do anything to Volcanion. Floette doesn't do... Basically, the mons he didn't bring don't do anything to Volcanion, essentially. So, there's that. So, I'm going to press play and then switch sides because I don't want to view his perspective. So, he's going to lead right off the bat. He's going to lead with his Garchomp. So, it makes me think that he's going to have Stealth Rocks and he's just going to be a lead chomp and whatnot. So, I lead with my Leavanny. I want to get webs up immediately. So, he goes for the Fire Blast. Takes me down to 3% as I get my webs up. He just goes for the Dragon Claw, which is kind of nice. I actually go out into my Jolteon and go for the HP Ice. And he just turns out that his Garchomp has a Yachi Berry. So we don't come anywhere near killing it. Now, we actually got a low roll, too. And he's going to be able to kill us with an Earthquake. Now, at this point, I decide to just go for a close combat, get as much damage off as possible. He switches out into his Torn T. Now, I pause here because I know for a fact, even at -1 special defense, with an Assault Vest, the max his Hurricane can do to me is like 66, 67%. Something like that. Okay, let's see what happens. He gets a crit. That crit mattered so much. I will reveal, I was going for Stone Edge on this play. Okay? I went for Stone Edge. Right? If the Stone Edge had connected, this thing would have been dead. And I could have swapped Terrakion out. I outspeed the entirety of the rest of his team. I had X Scissor for the Reuniclus, Earthquake for the Magnezone, Close Combat for the Scrafty, Stone Edge for the Drifblim, and Close Combat would have killed the Garchomp. If I had had Terrakion, this would have been an entirely different game, because nothing switches in on me, because I could have... the only thing that would have been able to come in safely against me would have been his Reuniclus, because I OHKO everything else from the range it's all at. So that crit mattered a lot. And you will see in the side chat over here that I do, in fact, rage a bit about it, but you'll see that in a second. So I go out into my, I'm going to lower the speed a little bit. I go out into my Drapion. I know I can eat any hit from this thing. He just goes for the U-turn safely, as I do go ahead for the knockoff. As I knock off the, didn't knock anything off. Why didn't I knock anything off? Scarchomp didn't have an item. Okay, that's why. I didn't realize that Scarchomp didn't have an item at the time. Wait, did it? Hold on. Yeah, he didn't have an item. That's pretty fucking weird. Oh, you know, he had the Yachi Berry, that's why. Okay. So I actually decided to swap into my Golurk there, as you saw. And he went for the Earthquake, gets a crit. Not really that big of a deal. Didn't do all that much damage regardless, but still. What can you do? I go for my... He goes for the Stealth Rocks as I Earthquake him and take him out. Then he brings out his Drifblim. And that right there is why I need to do a lot more research into my opponent's teams. Because Drifblim gets Defog. I didn't know that. I did not know that Drifblim got Defog. Not a chance in hell did I know that Drifblim got fucking Defog. In no universe did I even consider Drifblim got Defog. I didn't even consider Drifblim a threat. I didn't even think he would bring this thing. But he does, in fact, have Defog. So he defogs, gets rid of his rocks, gets rid of my webs. That's kind of shitty. I'm unhappy about it. So he goes for an Acrobatics here. As I just go ahead and knock him off, get rid of his Citrus Berry. Which is kind of nice for me. There's now no unburdened shenanigans in the future. I go for a knockoff again because I know a knockoff will kill as he switches into his Torn-T and takes it and loses his Life Orb. He goes for a Hurricane on the next turn. I eat that up and I just go for Poison Jab and take out his Tornadus Therian. This Drapion set absolutely shit on his team. I go for a knockoff on his Scrafty here. Get rid of its Assault Vest, which is kind of dope. For me, I don't want that thing having Assault Vest. He goes for knockoff, gets rid of my Black Sludge. I set up one layer of Toxic Spikes. I figure at this point, that'll help me gauge whether he is Regenerator Reuniclus or Magic Guard Reuniclus, and that'll be really helpful. So he has Stone Edge on his Scrafty as I go for the two Steam Eruptions back to back and just absolutely annihilate this thing. He goes out into his Magnezone. I calc this. I knew a Thunderbolt could kill me. So I swap into my Optimus Prime. At this point, it's the only thing that I have on my team that counters his thing. As he goes into his Drifblim, I shouldn't have gone for the Earthquake there. I didn't expect. I should have gone. If I had gone for the Shadow Punch or Thunder Punch, I would have been a much safer play. Would have been able to kill this thing immediately, and then worked around it afterwards. Here, I just go for the Earthquake because I wanted to get damage off on this Reuniclus. Right here, I see it is Magic Guard, so it doesn't take any poison damage at this point. I know the match is over. I go for the Steam Eruption and kill off the Reuniclus, but he's just going to be able to go into his Magnezone, go for the Thunderbolt, and take me out. So with that, we go down to 0-2 with a -3 differential. It's not bad. It's definitely, we can come back from it very easily. So hopefully we can, move forward from here and potentially start getting some wins under our belt. That crit definitely mattered, I think. Yeah, kind of sucks, but you know, whatever. We could have won that, but you know, what can you do? You just hacks happens. It's part of the game of Pokemon that we all play and enjoy and love. So with that, I'm gonna end this video off here. Until next time, guys. I'm PokePrimer, signing off.